I'm standing in my orchard that I planted a couple years ago. I have 4 peach trees, 4 plum trees, and then 8 apple trees. This is an area that I had cleared back in 2021, and it's still a mess. Long story short, never do a handshake deal, especially with loggers, even if you've known them most of their life. So anyways, still trying to clear up this mess. You can see it's bare dirt. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try the Paul Gautschi method, a little variation of it, using a wood chipper to chip up a bunch of brush and things in areas that I'm clearing out. Try to get that, and throughout the next couple of weeks, hopefully not months, hopefully it's done sooner than that, but just kind of fill in this whole area with wood chips, get started on that, because right now you can see the soil is very poor. It's very acidic. I got a lot of bare areas. Past couple of years, I've had to come in with a brush hog to just try to keep the weeds down in between my fruit trees. So it's been pretty frustrating. So I just decided here recently to go ahead and buy a wood chipper. I've tried asking local tree trimming companies to dump their wood chips for me, but a lot of people in the area are now interested in wood chips as well. I just decided, even though it's expensive, I'm going to go ahead and purchase a wood chipper. Got a Woodland Mills, whatever brand, you get, whatever. I'm not here to market any sort of particular brand, but I've been happy with this so far, and it's fun to use. And it's just part of this independence that, yes, investing in some machinery and infrastructure is expensive at times, but in the long run, as long as this thing doesn't break on me, I shear a few shear bolts here and there because I'm still learning how the thing works. But overall, just the amount of time that it's saving, and instead of burning brush or trying to pile it up and use a chainsaw to cut it down real flat to where it ends up decomposing, I'm just running it through the wood chip, and yeah, going to try to use the farming method like Paul Gautschi. I've been using the wood chipper in this area. That was my compost pile. I've been composting paper, cardboard, and chopped leaves, other brown material, and now I'm running the wood chipper on here. Going to cover that all up, get it to compost, and then have another pile here then that I can scoop up the wood chips, or else put them in the wagon and then use that on my orchard and other places where I'm going to need the wood chips. Chips are relatively fine, a lot finer than I thought they would be. This is about the size of green hemlock branches. And then when I've been chipping the maple's a bit harder. It's been getting strips like this. So for some reason, maple's been chipped up big, but everything else has been relatively small. Some of the other maple that I've been chipping up, bigger pieces like that. The wood chipper that I bought requires at least a 35 horsepower, power the PTO with power takeoff in the back of the tractor. So I got to use old Big Bertha here. The Kubota doesn't have enough horsepower for it. So I just park Big Bertha here and then use the Kubota to haul some of the smaller branches and some of the small logs. In order to be the most efficient, you want to go ahead and stage the materials that you need ahead of time. This will just save you a lot of time trying to drag everything in. I still need to finish sawing this piece. I'm not marketing for any particular brand. I have a Woodland Mills sawmill sharpener. It's been great. So I figured I'd go ahead and buy this wood chipper. I kind of liked how it looked, different reviews in the videos. So again, I'm not marketing for anyone. There's other brands out there. There's rental companies. You can rent wood chippers as well. If you don't have a tractor, you can get one that's gas powered. This particular model is advertised as an 8-inch. So when a piece of machinery is advertised that it can perform a certain task, I push it to the limits. Within reason, you always keep oil changed, things lubed up and so forth. You don't want to ever do anything dumb like that and not lube things up. But if it advertises 8-inch, I'm going to go ahead and do 8-inch. Woodland Mills has been great. Probably the things for me is I almost always shear 1 or 2 shear bolts. Buying shear bolts is a lot cheaper than buying extra belts or other parts of the machine that break. And then also too, the eye bolts. I've had a little bit of problem with these, so I went ahead and I ordered some extra. But other than that, those are all replaceable, consumable items I'm not worried about. As far as the machine itself, so far it's been great, because I'm not an expert at this. This is not a how-to. This is just somebody that has a little bit of knowledge of tractors and machinery that's just trying to be independent and providing for myself instead of having to rely on tree trimming companies to get my wood chips from. You don't want to skimp on the shear bolts, because I burned through a pile of these. I just figured go ahead and buy them in bulk. Got the pile of hemlock done. Some pretty nice hemlock chippings now. Finished all those branches. A lot of green needles. If you haven't already seen the documentary or read the book, Back to Eden by Paul Gautschi, I highly recommend it. Again, I'm just doing a variation, not 100% like he does. I'd like to pay respect to Paul. He's taught a lot of people. I've personally never met the man. Hopefully I can someday. I guess his health isn't doing too good. Definitely highly recommend it. Super humble. Definitely a follower of Christ. Legit man of God. One of the things that he does teach is that for around areas that you're going to be growing crops and stuff, you want to tend to have the part with the leaves and the branches more so than the trunk material. I'm going to go ahead and keep this separate. Most of this pile is the branch and the leafy and piney material. I do have some of more of the trunk material from where I do my slabs. I'm not so much worried about keeping that separated since it's going to be on the orchard and not in my garden. A little bit of mixture like that won't really matter too much. This makes me almost feel like a little kid at Christmas time. I'm going to show a demonstration of some other kinds of wood now. Here's some pine boards, a little punky. So I'm going to go ahead and grind these up. I got some oak branches, and there's a little birch log in there. Birch smells pretty good whenever you chip it up. And then to really test it out, I got some 6-inch oak there. Now the thing with that I've noticed is if you put too long of pieces in, it will shear the shear bolts. Whenever I do the bigger logs like this, I cut them to about 3 or 4 feet. Also too, I tend to keep it on 3. This is the speed adjustment for the roller. Whenever I go to do the bigger ones, I'm going to turn that down to 1. See if that keeps it from shearing the bolt. Here's the pin. Obviously doing one bucket at a time would take forever. This is more just demonstration purposes. I'm going to use either the cart or the old dump truck to speed things up. It's going to take a lot of wood chips. Just doing it when I can because I still have to work a full-time job, do some other farming stuff on the side. So I'm going to put it on a couple inches thick to start, and then just through the years, just go ahead and keep piling it on.